Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Johnny Vegas. Now today, I got a special guest on my show. He's an Emmy-nominated actor for his film. It was your film, right?
Web series. Yeah.
Web series. Sorry, the web series. This Eddie Murphy role is mine, not yours. He's a writer, producer, director, and a comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Melvin Jackson Jr.
Thank you for having me, man.
Man, thank you for coming, man. I truly appreciate your work and you just coming to my show, man. I truly appreciate it, man. So, basically what I wanted, the information I'm looking to get out of you is, how you got your start. And now, I'm sure once you started, you grew into a writer, producer, director, and stuff like that. But, what was your first love that wanted you to be in entertainment?
Well, music was my first love. I started managing artists when I was about 18, and I took that to the point to where, oh man, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was just like, I wanted people to be able to live out their dreams. So it was important for me to help, manage their careers and get them in front of the right people. And so that's when my first love was music, and just spearheading their careers, man, because I just love this business.
Mm-hmm.
And as a young kid, I was able to really, make some leeways in aspects of where people my age wasn't able to do. And so that was my first love, and then that led into, other things after that.
So what made you stop managing and then kind of move forward to the next thing?
Well, I was also modeling as well, and so this agency that I was with had me audition for a PSA, and never acted before, and so I ended up going in and auditioning and booking the role. And so from that point on, I was like, this is something I want to do. I never stopped managing artists. It was until I felt like I just had to let it go, when I felt like I was making more money as an actor than I was as a manager, and I feel like I was hitting a wall. And so I therefore stopped, kind of really full-time, managing artists and just really focusing on my career. So I started managing my own career.
Yeah, I find that happens a lot, man, because my first love was music, as you can see. I actually still do music as well, but when I came to California chasing a music dream, I fell into acting, and that started paying the bills, so I kind of started putting music to the side because it wasn't paying as much, you know what I'm saying? So I can see how, finances will kind of make you think, damn, this is working for me, let me push this, even because it's still heading in the same direction of entertainment.
Absolutely.
So I feel you on that. Now, so do you dabble in music at all? Like, do you write music or perform music at all, or you just solely focus on acting now?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say that I'm a rapper. I say I'm an entertainer. So, like, what I'll have done, I performed, songs that I've written, hip hop songs, and I want to do an album. Like, I just want to do one album, and kind of, fulfill my goal that I always want to do is one album, one hip hop album, and be done. Like, I'm not trying to pursue a career as an artist, but just kind of put out good music, have fun with it, perform. And just, just live life. And I mean, I just think that for me, it's important to fulfill the goals that you have, the things that you want to do, your bucket list, so to say, but just really have fun with it. And I think that music has always been a part of my life. I listen to music when I'm doing, dishes, chores. It's
in you.
Yeah, it's in me, and it's therapeutic as well. So I'm always listening to music. And so I want to be able to make good music and just have something with substance, but also have something that people can party to and just, have fun too.
Right. No, that's what's up, man. And I would love to help you with that, because I actually have some projects coming out. Just got some crazy beats from my producer, so I'm going to definitely let you hear some, and then we'll see if we can work on that level. So talk to me about this Emmy nomination, man. I know that's got to feel wonderful, man. So before the Emmy nomination, how did you come up with this web series?
I came up with this web series just the fact that, I've auditioned for the Eddie Murphy role before for another project. I didn't get it. And so it was always this thing where people like, you look like Eddie Murphy, all these resemblance comments that were being made. And just for me, I just never wanted to ride off someone's coattail in a sense, but I just thought it would be a funny twist to say, hey, what if I got a chance to audition for Eddie Murphy role in his biopic? But then I took out my competition to make sure that I get the role, because you know how it is. And in Hollywood, you're competing against so many people. So I just came up with the idea and wrote it out. had sat on it for like 2 years, and then I brought it to my wife and had her look at it, and then we started revising it to get it even tighter and better. And I said, let's shoot it, because I want to present this as a consideration for an Emmy. And then it kind of went from there. People involved believed in me, and we made it happen. And after it was shot, I put it out there, started campaigning, and then months later, found out I was nominated for it, and it was just a true honor, because in this business, you want to be able to be recognized for something that you created, produced, and saw through. And so for me, it was bigger than just the Emmy nomination. It was the simple fact that my work, I'm being recognized as an actor for something that I wrote and produced, and that is huge. That is something that just not as an actor you appreciate, but as a creator you appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. That's great, bro. I love the fact that you had the opportunity to book a Eddie Murphy role, didn't get it, and decided to take matters into your own hands and create your own destiny for that same path that you were trying to take initially. And that's awesome, man. I'm all about recreating yourself and still heading in the same direction and taking matters into your own hands with the right resources, of course. So I commend you on that. That's dope. So now, how did the process go to even get nominated for an Emmy? Because you was explaining to me you had to chop it up. Well, explain it. The Emmy.
So the process is to be considered for an Emmy for the web series plus short form category. You have to have 6 episodes, at least 6 episodes, 15 minutes or less. Mm-hmm. And so I had to do that. Put it, chop the project up into 6 episodes, then submit it. Then the committee will look at it, make sure that it's up to the criteria, and then you're considered. Now you have to campaign so that people know that you're being considered for an Emmy. And so what that pretty much is your name is, when you go to vote, your name is up there for people to vote for you to be nominated. So it took, my categories can be 25, 50, I think it was like 50 people, 25 people in my category, 19 actually. Mm-hmm. And so out of the 19, it was trimmed down to 5 people. Okay. I think 4 or 5 people were nominated. And so James Corden was in my category, amongst D. Storm, Miles, another guy, I forgot his name, but a lot of people were in my category, and we just had to campaign. And so it was at the point to where the next round is when we have to be we're choosing who's going to be the winner. And so unfortunately I didn't win. James Corden won, but it was still an honor to just be in that whole process. Mm-hmm. And so I don't feel like I feel like I still am a winner, just by the simple fact that I was nominated and forever be an Emmy nominated actor. So yeah, it's definitely was just a great experience, a whirlwind, fun time, stressful at times, but definitely a true honor.
Let me explain something to you, brother. You're a winner just by taking the matters into your own hands, by chasing your dreams when you could have got a job and helped somebody else chase their dreams. Right. So you're a winner like that. So just keep that, motivation going, because you're going to be great. Trust me. I wouldn't have you on the show if I thought otherwise.
Appreciate it.
But I know sometimes it could be stressful in Hollywood when opportunities pass you by because of the bigger name. Right. Like James Corden, he has a show, it's syndicated CBS and all that stuff. Right. So, that could kind of steer votes, what I'm saying, versus you, not saying you're not a big name, but he's a little bit bigger.
He's a lot bigger.
Right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
he's worldwide.
Now, do you think that part of it's, I don't want to say stressful to you, but it's not fair for someone like you?
I mean, I just think that if you want to be the best, you got to go up against the best. Right. So for me, it's a stiff competition because he is worldwide known all around. But you hope that your work speaks for itself, and people look past that. So for me, it's like that just means that I now have to broaden my horizon to where people do know who I am, and and so it is maybe a fair competition, but I just feel like it's still the voters' decision. Like, it's not like he did anything different than I did. I the simple fact that he did the work that he's done to get to where he's at. Right. So there's no different from the work that I did to get to where I'm at. Right. And so I feel like it's fair competition because we're both competing in the same field. Is he known more than me? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's just what it's life. What it is. It's a you can't pick and choose who you go up against.
Right.
You just have to deal with what you're dealt, and you make the best of it. And so the simple fact to even lose to him, you know, it's not a bad thing because people know who he is. People like, oh, okay, yeah, you in the category with him. So the simple fact you're in good company.
Yeah.
So I'm not bitter. I'm not upset. Like at first, I definitely it hit me in a way, but it allowed me to know that I was grown up and I can accept it because I wasn't like mad. I was a little disappointed, but I was just like, hey, that's life. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to stop me from my destiny, and it's bigger than the Emmy. You know, my thing is to show people that you can do anything you put your mind to, because that's what my mom always told me. That's what I believe in, and I show kids that you can invest in yourself. You can write something, you can create something, and you can also be Emmy nominated off of something that you created. You just got to put in the time and the work. Right. And that was a bigger lesson than winning the Emmy. Like, yeah, it would have been great to win, but there was a lesson in the lesson. So it's just a lot fueling me for the next year and the next year to keep going and to never stop.
Right. All that is just straight motivation that you just said, bro. Just the fact that he's the bigger name, that motivates me. Even you say, because I want to be that bigger name, so I got to put in the work, just like you said. And you took the lesson from it, you know, which is good. Some people, the glass is half empty, so now they're like Cuba Gooding in Boys in the Hood when he was swinging at the air and all that stuff. Remember that part, crying? Yeah. So you don't want to be like that, all bitter and stuff. So that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad it was a humbling experience for you. And so what was the feedback you were getting from, you know, from personally, not just from the voters in the Emmy category, but the people?
Man, people love the web series. They thought it was a great idea, something brand new, fresh, that hadn't been done before. And so for me, that's always important, to do something that hasn't been done before, because a lot of times you'll see things being rebooted, recreated, you know, and it's just like, we have new ideas, we have fresh talent, let's make it happen. And so the simple fact that I was able to utilize my friends in this project is, you know, it was an amazing thing. And so the feedback was just like, man, like when's the next episode coming out? When is it? Like, so people want more. And so it was just the simple fact that it was something that I came up with. It worked. People loved it. And that's important for me. It's like, you know, you want to do something that's good, that people love, and when people want more of.
Now, when you told me earlier about you had to campaign for it, so you had to get people outside of the committee, the Emmy committee, to vote on it, or just them? Yeah,
because what it is the Television Academy members vote for you. Only fellow actors and casting directors can vote for my peer group, which is performer peer group. So I had to therefore campaign to, you know, the other actors, casting directors, almost like I ran it like I did with a political campaign.
So what was your strategy as far as campaigning?
I got shirts made. I did social media. I had car decals that I rode around with on my car. I just took it to a whole nother level. And so it's gonna be exciting to see next year what people are doing and what they take from what I was able to do and utilize that in their own campaign. But for me, it's always about promote yourself. Like how can you expect people to know who you are, to want to support you if they don't know who you are? So you have to promote yourself, and you know, constantly people would see the this Eddie Murphy role is mine, not yours, and then, you know, they want to know what it's about, and then now it's the Emmy nominated. So it's like it just went on and on and on. And so I think it definitely opened a lot of doors, and people were like, man, this guy really took matters into his own hands. He did it with class. And that's important for me. It's like to do it with class and to do it with integrity, to where it's like I'm not out here trying to sell wolf tickets. I'm actually just selling you pure work.
Right. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you know, it's always people, like you said earlier, trying to ride somebody else's coattails or trying to be somebody else other than themselves because they think this is the in thing and this is what you got to do to get in. But it's like you stand out more when you be yourself because nobody else is you. Right. You know, so I definitely feel you on that. So, so tell me, how'd you get into producing? Because I speak to a lot of producers, and they all tell me something different in regards to their role. Like some, it's all they just put up the money. Some actually wrote the film. You know, so what is your role as a producer?
My role as a producer is more so like whether I wrote it or not. Like it's from beginning to end. Sometimes like I'll work on getting cast, you know, the caster part of it. I'll help maybe, you know, get financing for it, or just kind of pretty much do the day-to-days, making sure that everything comes together, whether it's a DP, whether it's a director that's needed, whatever is needed for the project to help it come together to formulate it into the next stages of it. That's what I do as a producer. And so what I've done is really maintain for me is wrote it. That's something I wrote. I made the calls about the location. I got the casting. Like I did everything from writing it to maybe funding it myself and to getting it done and then edit it. Like that's what I've done on my side of producing. And so what I like to do is just make sure that I bring people together. And, you know, if somebody has a talent over here, I'll bring them over here. And that's me producing something even bigger. And it's just something that I feel like I'm good at. I always tell people I feel like I'm a better producer than I am an actor just because I know how to formulate things, bring people together, and make it happen. Like, a lot of my friends will tell me, like, man, like, you're a dope producer. As like I see that being your big thing, you know. And so I take that because I know when something's good. I know talent when I see it. I know when we have something that can be even bigger. And so I'm always thinking in the sense of not just thinking as a consumer, but thinking, how does this relate to what can happen as far as how is it going to do with revenue? As you see a lot of things, I'm always looking at like horror films where you don't have to spend a lot for horror films because there's an audience for it. You know, sometimes it doesn't even have to be good, but it's just like you give the audience what they want, people what they want. They're gonna keep going after it, but you give them. Sometimes you can give them something new and then see. But why not feed people already what they want, and just make it something brand new in a sense to where it's different. It's not the same. Yeah. And I think that's just me as a producer, just always thinking like, how can I give people what they want, but also satisfy me and what I want to do, and making sure I'm telling the stories that I want to tell.
Yeah, I hear you on that, man. That's more difficult when it comes to music, man. Because like, it seems like it's easier with acting. I mean, making a movie, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can still present it in its category. Like if it's a horror, you present it as horror. You might throw something different in it to make it unique. Right. But you know, you can still present it easier. As far as music, it's like, you know, you trying to be different but still be you. It's like, and still please the crowd and the masses with what they already like to hear. Right. Is like very, very difficult, but you know, I love it, you know, so I still do it. Right. But you know, that's what's up, man. So tell me, you know, it sounds like you've had a lot of success, but tell me about some of the hardships you had to deal with, the sacrifices you had to make to even chase this dream. Because even with me, like, I had to leave my whole life in Florida. I built a life over there for 12 years and decided to take a jump. I had a sales background, did sales for 10 years, and I was just like, I'm making money, but I'm not happy. I got to figure it out. And I just took a leap to California, and it was the best decision I've ever made. You know, but I left my family, my friends behind, but they all understood. You know, and then again, you know, starting off as an actor, it's 1,000,001 actors in here, so it's like you don't get those opportunities quick. So you're going through up and down. Bills still got to get paid. You got to do what you got to do. Uber, Lyft, you know, all that. So, you know, tell me about some of those hardships you had to go through to make it where you are today.
I mean, definitely a lot of sacrifice, man. Like, even, you know, on the simple fact that I went through something in my career where I didn't think that would have happened that far in my career, would have been more in the beginning. But I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, I thought it was a situation that was supposed to, you know, work out where I was writing on a show. I was actually going to be a series regular on the show and also producing. And so pretty much I had the opportunity to do all that, and then I'm like, okay, but I had a job, and so I had to make a decision where I couldn't really do both. So I therefore was going to leave my job, but what happened, I ended up going part-time, but the opportunity ended up falling apart, and like it never happened. And you know, the person wasn't he wasn't honest about the situation, and he didn't have money that was said to have, and so I brought all these people involved in this project, and I looked like, you know, the idiot in it. And so for me, I was broken because I put a lot of energy into this show, into this project, and it didn't happen. And now I don't have the job to go back to, in the sense of my hours that I had, where I'm working 36 to 40 hours a week. Now I'm not guaranteed any hours. So I went through a hardship in that point. It was like, man, like, well, how am I going to live? How am I going to eat? But God made it work. He worked it out to where I was able to, you know, I was in my job, and I did Uber for some time, just to make ends meet and do what I need to do. and I was just able to get through it. Like I had to pay my rent with my credit card. I was, I had to get loans in order to pay and to live off of. And so it was just a whole lot of situations that I had to go through in that time period just to get through it. I had to be, what's the word? I had to
proactive.
Not proactive, but I had to be clever and come up with ways to where I didn't have to go and borrow money from people and owe people. I had to, like I say, take out loans so I can live off and pay bills and all that stuff. And so I did that, and I was able to get through that time, man. And it just allowed me to know, like, I'm never gonna step out like that unless it's God really telling me, because I didn't consult God. And I think that sometimes you need wisdom, and you have to seek wisdom and making sure that it's the right moves. It may look good, but it's like, get that first check first. And I saw a lot of things that was happening, but I was just so happy with this opportunity, and I was blinded by the signs that were in front of me. And that's why I don't get too excited about things until I'm even on set, I'm even, the paperwork is signed, I see the money's in the bank or whatever. Like I'm at the point where I'm gonna say nothing surprises me, but I'm just at a point to where I have to see it in order to believe it. And in a sense of whether it's somebody say, hey, I got this opportunity for you, okay, let's see the paperwork, let's see the check. Like it's not sealed until it's sealed in a sense. And so for me, it's just, that was a eye opener, and I learned a lot in that. And so that pushed me to know that I could produce my own show. I could produce my own projects, and that pushed me even harder as a producer. And so I feel like that maybe I had to go through in order to get to where I am now. And so had I not done that, had I not gone through that, I don't know if I would have done this web series. I don't know if I would have done a sitcom that I produced and wrote myself. I don't know if I would have done that because I didn't know what I was capable of. But that moment in those situations where I'm in charge of all these people, even A-list actors, I was shown that I could do it, and people saw it and like, man, like, you're really good as an actor, you're like a producer, like you kept this all together, and only people were doing the project because of me. So it just showed me a lot that I was capable of doing that I didn't know that I was. So definitely it broke me, but it also shaped me into the person I am right now.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, sometimes that happens, man. Like, even like I told you how I came here to do music and ended up in acting and now falling into directing and filming commercials. It's like God is showing me, He's leading me in the right direction, but it's crazy. It's not what I wanted to do initially, but I'm still meeting the people I wanted to meet and being in the places I wanted to be, doing the things that He's setting forth in front of me. And it's like, I didn't even know I was capable of this until I thought outside the box. So I definitely feel you on that, man. Where you originally from?
DC.
DC? Yeah. Oh, wow. How was it in DC coming up?
It was good, man. I lived in DC, and then I went over. I moved to Maryland. Then I went overseas when I was about 8 years old for like 4.5 years. Sorry, I went overseas for 8.5 years, and that
was because of family. Or
yeah, my mom was in the government, and so I went over there for about 8.5 years of my life, man, and just had a great experience. And that shaped me as well. It kept allowing me to think outside the box and not just be in the black community, but also be able to interact with different races, different nationalities, and I still keep in contact with those friends now, man. It's just, I was in Pakistan and Turkey, and it just eye-opener, like, just allowed me to know how blessed I really was in America.
Yeah, I think people need those humbling experiences, man. Some people get caught up in what they got going on and sometimes act more spoiled or, pretty much spoiled with what they have, and they're not grateful for it. But when they see how people live in other places, you be like, wow, we're really fortunate just to even be alive. You know what I'm saying? Especially places like Pakistan. I mean, I can't believe you live there. Like, damn. How was that?
It was great. Like you said, it was great, man. I learned the language a little bit. I learned the culture, and just, like I said, it just opened my eyes as a young man, like a young kid, like, to think that how great we have it in America, and we come to there with we deal with poverty, and different things that they deal with over there, and it's just like, it just allowed me to be more appreciative.
So where were you at before you came to California, overseas, and then California?
No, I was in Maryland. I lived in Maryland, and then I came out here. I came out of California 2005. Then I went back, regrouped around 2006. I got a job, transferred out here, and then kind of planted my feet in out here in 2007. Just to go head in.
What was the first opportunity you got when you came to LA?
I booked the role on Everybody Hates Chris.
Okay.
I was supposed to meet with an agent who's possibly going to sign me, and so before I was supposed to meet with her, she's like, I know we're supposed to meet, but I got you on audition already for Everybody Hates Chris. I'm like, dang, this is a go-getter. We haven't even signed the contract yet, but she's already like,
that's what's up. I'm about to fire my agent.
So yeah, man, and that was because I gave myself a month. I said I'm gonna give myself a month to be in LA, and if nothing happens, I go back home. And within 3 weeks, that's when I got the agent, and then the audition happened, and so I booked that, and that became a recurring role. I didn't get the role that I auditioned for. It was the main bully. But they liked me and they knew my work, and so they created a role for me. So I would play different characters every episode that I was in, and it was a great experience to work with Chris Rock and Ali Leroy and all those great people, Tashina Arnold, Terry Crews, and so we all keep in contact, and I see them every now and then out and about, and it's just love, man. So I'm excited. It's just an honor to be a part of that project, and it's still showing syndication now, and. It was like I had The Wire when I came out here, and it was like I got to utilize that. The people loved it, loved The Wire, so it's just like I was able to utilize that experience that I had on The Wire, and then come to LA because I'm in Maryland, man. Like we don't get shows like that at all, and so for us to have that there and be able to take that and come to California and capitalize off it was amazing.
So the role you got here wasn't your first role.
No.
Okay, so the first role was The Wire.
The first big role was The Wire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause they shot it in Baltimore.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So how did you find out about that and then go with the process of booking that?
Well, I actually, I don't know if I submitted something before at one point, and they kept calling me as an extra, and I'm like, man, I want to be no extra. I want to be on the show. Like that was my favorite show. So I was like, we get on the show.
I ain't trying to be no passerby.
Right. So they kept hitting me up, and like the third time, I was like, all right, maybe this guy tested me. I was like, all right, cool, I'll do it. I did it. Met Wood Harris. Like, just was doing my networking thing, even though we were supposed to be over here. I was just doing networking. I was just watching everything, and I just was like, okay, taking it all in. So then second season came, and I started getting a chance to actually audition. Third season, like after like the 15th time, I finally booked the role of Bernard on the third season. And I remember going in for the callback, and the casting director Pat Moran was like, just do exactly what you did last time. Got you. And so I went in there for the producers and everything, and they called me like that day or so, and I was at work, and they was like, you booked the role, and I was like, I was just screaming.
I quit!
Nah, I was going to do that. People thought I had won a lotto, so it was crazy, but it was just like, it was such a hit show, I would tell people that I was on it, so every week they looking for me, like, man, you said you was on it, you're not on it. I'm like, I'm not going to lie. So I just stopped telling people, and then when they finally saw my episode, they was like, man, why you ain't tell me? I was like, cuz, I'm tired of telling people I'm on it, and then they don't believe me, and then you waiting for the episode, because you don't know when the episode come out. So it was dope, man.
That's cool as hell, man. So you use a lot of your those clips for your reel that got you the Everybody Hates Chris, right?
Well, no, it was the Everybody Hates Chris was just audition,
Oh, okay.
But now it's like you use that as body of work that you have on your reel.
That's what's up, man. That's a great story, man. Actually, I'm actually gonna look back on The Wire and see if I see you.
Yeah.
So do you happen to know what episode? Cause I ain't trying to watch the whole season.
I'm in season 3 episode. Man, we're not coming.
It's been that long, right?
Episode 7, 6, but I mean, that season's really good. But it's pretty much my character's Bernard, and the guy getting his cell phones. I'm working for Stringer Bell and Avon Barksdale's character. So yeah, it's definitely a great show, man. It's you'll get hooked, and it's like without The Wire, there would be no shows that you see now that you're hooked on. So it definitely birthed a lot of shows.
Was that life that they showed on The Wire accurate with the life in Baltimore?
Yeah, it was a real story. Like a lot of those characters were based on real people, because the producers one was a reporter, one was a cop. So actually the real people actually came to set, and the people who were portraying them got a chance to meet them. So there really is an Omar Little. There, all these people. So it's definitely great when you're able to tell an authentic story, but still have compassion in how you're telling it, to where it helped clean up Baltimore a little bit, and it was real for people that live there, and some people didn't watch it because I live it. So the abandoned buildings, the crack, the cocaine, all that stuff was real life.
Nah, I hear you, man. Same here, because I grew up in the South Bronx, and it was like a lot of violence, drugs, and all that. But it was something in me that knew that I didn't want this. You know what I'm saying? Like this was just my circumstance, but I knew something out there was bigger for me. You know, and I'm sure you felt the same way, obviously, because you're here. You know, so I feel you on that, man. So you're a married man, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. How long you been married?
Married going on 3 years. In November.
Congratulations, man. I'm going on 3 years too, but not married though, just together. You know what I'm saying? Living as married. Right. You know, that's what we put on applications and stuff. But no, that's what's up, man. So how'd you guys meet?
We met. It's a funny story. We met several times. We met one time. We were auditioning for a role that she was in the play. And I was auditioning as in one of the other characters. Don't remember her. On this, and then I went saw another time probably through a mutual friend. But the time we really met officially was at a friend's going away party, and I just saw her, man. And I was like something about her, and so I was like I went all in. I never did that before, and I called the wrong name 3 times, and like. Just was going in. It was crazy, man.
You're lucky she still stuck around after that.
Right. And so, you know, she said she didn't feel come to give me her number. I was like, well, just put it in my phone. She like the same thing. And so I was just really persistent about getting her number, man. And, you know, she walked away fully. She's like, I'll be right back. And so I was like, when I saw her walking back, I'm like, let me go take care of this. And so I asked for her number. She like, let me put it in. I want you to put the wrong number in. And the rest was history, man. And I, you know, proposed to her 5 times. The first month, I knew that, you know, I wanted to marry her, had a ring. I knew that she wasn't ready, but, I proposed, told her just how serious I am. I proposed about 5 times before she finally said yes. It was on my birthday.
So wait a minute, so when you proposed the first 4 times, she said no?
Yeah.
But she still stuck with you, so.
I was like, man, this is hard. Like, nobody like to say, hear no, but that's how life is sometimes. You hear no, but you gotta keep going until you finally get that yes.
Right.
And, you know, you have to win somebody over. And so for me, it was just like my persistence. You know, I got the girl at the end of the day, and that's what it's about. Sometimes in life, you just got to be persistent. You got to continue to show a person how much you're willing to go for them, how hard you're willing to go for them. And so, it's like, yeah, man, like, here we are.
Do you think that helps you in this business, you know, as far as being in a committed relationship, or is it difficult? You know, because we're in the nightlife sometimes with these events and these females and stuff like that, you know, so does it help you maintain your focus being in a committed relationship?
Absolutely, because I know for me, when I was single, I wasn't as focused as I am when I'm in a relationship or I'm with somebody, because you're more so focused on, let me go plan this date, let me go be with this person, that person, and you're losing focus on your hustle and what you're trying to do. Money. And so I just was like, I don't like this person that I am, because my focus was just off. And so I definitely, when I'm in a relationship, it's a lot more focused. I can focus on what I need to do, but then also have somebody to ride with, you know. And so with us both being in the industry, I think we're just able to balance each other off. And, you know, because typically you don't try to be with somebody that's in the industry, but then it kind of helps sometimes because that person understands what you're doing, so you don't have to be like, oh man, this person just don't understand, because sometimes it's hard being with an actor, because all these ups and downs. You may be on a show today, off tomorrow, and it's just all these uncertainties. And so a person who doesn't know the business, it's gonna be new to them, and they don't know if they can handle it, because sometimes it's even hard for 2 actors to be in a relationship together. It's just a lot, and so you just have to get through it. And I think it can make things easier, but you also have to understand what it is that you're both seeking in your careers and what it is you want. I know for me, it's always like I'm all about creating opportunities for myself and others, and it's just not me as an actor. It's me as a businessman. It's me as this overall brand.
I got you, man. Now, same here, man. I actually, my girl, she's in the medical field. Okay. You know, she's like complete opposite from acting. You know, so I feel you on the point when you made that they might not understand certain moves you make to get to your goal. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whether it's attending multiple events or networking with people, you know, staying out late, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It might cause conflict because they don't understand. They're just looking at you as a man as a whole and what their vision of a husband or a boyfriend should be doing. So you kind of got to further elaborate, and sometimes that doesn't even work. But, you know, if this is the person that's meant for you, it's going to stick. So that's what's up, man. How she's doing in her career as an actress?
She's doing good, man. She just, did a movie with Jeffrey Wright.
That's one of my favorite actors right there.
Yeah, that's one of her favorite actors too.
Beast, boy.
Yeah, called Day and a Night, A Day and a Night.
Mm-hmm.
So they wrapped that up, and yeah, man, just she's auditioning and working on some stuff that we also have a book that we did, a children's book, Adventures of Jimmy the Fly.
Oh yeah,
on Amazon.
Awesome, man. What was that about?
It's pretty much about a fly, him and his friends, they decide to play an epic game of hide and go seek, and he decides to hide in a luggage compartment, and he gets hit in the head with a suitcase, and it gets knocked out unconscious, wakes up, has amnesia, doesn't know where he's at, where he lives, and so he's trying to find his way to get back home, and with the help of his new friends. So yeah,
that's cool. So how did it work putting that book together? I mean, you had to obviously contact the publisher, right?
Well, we self-published it. Well, what happened was it was an idea I had many years ago as a cartoon, and so when my wife got together, I presented it to her, and she really loved the idea. We was gonna push it as a cartoon, and then one day she woke up, she said, "Why don't we do it as a book first? That way we get build an audience and build a fan base, and then we can kind of turn into a cartoon from there." So we started, doing it. We met with a illustrator, or talked to an illustrator, told him what our vision was, and I sent him the pictures that I already had, and the rest went from there. And she started creating it, and then we went through Amazon and got our book made. And so it was like we're self-published, and we just would continue to push it, and people love it. They're waiting for the next book, so it's like we got to finish that and knock it out.
So when's the cartoon come out?
Well, we don't know. When we gotta, sit down and try to, pitch it to a network and see who bites on it. And so we're deciding if we want to do do the book first and then try to go at it. But yeah, we're definitely gonna see what options are out there.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad you guys are creating as a team, and you kind of joining forces to kind of build the whole empire.
Yeah.
And that's good, man. Any children?
Now I have 3 boys from a previous marriage, 20, 15, and 10. So we don't have any kids together, but maybe definitely in the future.
In the future, yeah. Nah, that's what's up, man. I'm glad to hear that, brother. So you mentioned earlier, off camera about an exclusive.
Yes.
So why don't you share that, man? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was blessed to have booked a role in a docu series called Price of Fame, and the episode's about Eddie Murphy. So I booked the role to portray Eddie Murphy in the docudrama, and it all came about through a mutual friend of a friend of mine who was also in the Emmy consideration. Well, Emmy, he's a fellow Emmy nominee, Miles, and he contacted me about someone he knew that were looking to have someone to play Eddie Murphy, and wanted to know if I'd be interested since I did the web series. And so he sent me the information, sent in my contacted the producer. The producer sent me the sides. I did a self-tape audition, submitted it, and then found out that I actually booked the role. And so we shoot in Texas, and I'm excited just to definitely get to work and portray that and try to bring a great story to life.
Yeah, man. I hope I book it too, man. I saw the email for it said Eddie Murphy Price of Fame, but I didn't click on it because I was in the gym. But I'm gonna see what they're talking about and see what role I can fit in. Hopefully, I'll see you out there also. Yeah. But that's great, man. I love the fact that how it just manifested for you with the role you didn't get. Then you took matters into your own hands, did your own web series in regards to Eddie Murphy, and that sparked an even bigger situation where now you booked the whole role as Eddie Murphy, which you didn't get in the beginning, but you got now. And it's just like, it's God, man. It's just manifestation. People, put matters into your own hands. Please, don't let anybody tell you no. You do that yourself. Absolutely. Do it yourself, man. I'm telling you. It's going to work, man. But that's what's up, man. But you sound pretty religious, man. You sound like that you have a lot of faith in God, and you obviously, is that because of your mom? She was very into religious?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom, and kept me in the church, and, I was always around the youth, and my church, we had a youth ministry, and so they were very involved with us, and it just allowed me, I think, for me, it was always... I didn't know, like, me being Christian, if I'm going to be able to have fun and do the things I want to do. But I think, with me seeing Kurt Franklin and seeing how fun he made being a Christian was, and how, hip and young he was, that opened up doors for me. It's like, oh, okay, I can still have fun and praise God and all these other things. And so that opened a door for me to where it's like it was really, really ready to give my life to God. And so definitely he's been my backbone and everything, man, just getting me through the rough times and just crazy stuff. Like, so God has definitely been the forefront of my life. He's allowed me to get through, the death of my father who committed suicide.
I'm sorry.
And man. And so it allowed me to utilize that situation to help other people and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important for us to speak about mental health issues, and if you feel like someone is going through something, really get them help, or really talk them through it, whatever it may be. Whether it's a little signs, and for me, there was no signs for me. And that's the part that bothers me, because me and my father talked all the time. I didn't know everything he was going through. So we just got to be comfortable as men to share our feelings with our other men and other people in our lives, so that we know when to step in and really help. But if we don't know that the person needs help, then we can't do it. So it definitely was an eye-opener for me. And it definitely was like, if I have opportunity to help somebody, I'm going to step up and do that, because I don't want anybody to go through what I went through.
Yeah, communication is definitely key, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm sorry that happened to you. That kind of sucks, man. How old were you when that happened?
It was happened 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Well, you guys were very close.
Yeah, very close. Yeah.
Huh? Give me 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, boss, how you doing?
Screening review.
It's all good. No, it's all right. No problem. But yeah, man, that's crazy, man. So, and your mother and father were separated at the time?
They were they weren't together at the time. They had got divorced, but then they got back together. But then they ended up breaking up again. They didn't. So they wasn't together when this happened.
And do you think that caused some like depression for him and stuff like that, not being with his family and all that stuff?
I mean, it was that, and then the death of my grandparents, and so it's just he had
combination.
Right, yeah, he had just got a DUI the night before, and so he was a truck driver, so he feared of losing his job, and so it was that, and then it was just financial situations all at once. So it was just a lot he was dealing with, and I just never thought he would go that route. But that's how it is in life. You think that you will never do something or go through something, but you will. And sometimes you just have to know when you need help and say when you need help. And that's important, because we deal with depression a lot. Mm-hmm. It comes without even, knowing it. You're like, man, why am I feeling down? And you just have to continue to get yourself out of that hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to answer this if you don't feel comfortable, but if there's anything you could tell your father right now, what would that be?
And pretty much that I love him, and that, I know that I made him proud. And, the simple fact that when he passed, everybody that knew him, was just like, all he talked about was you, and how proud he was of you. So that was just comforting to me. And I know that he is my angel up in heaven, protecting me, keeping me safe. So just that definitely that I love him, and will continue to live out his legacy.
There you go, man. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, brother?
The next 5 years, man, I see myself definitely producing a lot of projects and being able to hire and give people jobs, and also just really truly making a difference in the world, speaking across the world to the youth, to just people, just helping to motivate them. I think that we go through a lot of things in life, and we still need to be inspired. We still need to be uplifted, and not so caught up in the things we can't change, but the things we can change.
Gotcha. Now that was more career-wise. What about your personal life in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I would just say, the personal, it's the same thing. Just make a difference in the world. Like, just continue to make a difference and impact outside of entertainment, but just really fulfill the things that I want to do in life, and definitely continue to build the legacy.
Mm-hmm. I meant more like like family, homeowner,
Yeah, I definitely would love to have a home, lovely own a home. Hopefully have a daughter by then. But yeah, I'm a simple guy, man. I just take one day at a time.
As you should.
And you know, I know we have these 5-year plans and everything, but for me, I'm like, let me do a month plan. Let me do a year plan. Let me do small increments, because who's saying that I'm going to live to see 5 years? So I want to try to fulfill as much as I can in a short period of time, if I can, you know, without shaking shortcuts, of course. But it's like, I don't want to be like, oh, okay, 5 years, I'm going to be here. Like, I'm going to go from this month to the end of the year, and then go from there and see how we do the 6-month plan, and then we go to another. Just so it's more realistic for me, in a sense of like, let's have these goals, and let's make sure we stay on track. Because if time you be like, well, in 5 years, then people are like, well, I got 5 years to get there. No, I don't want to have that mentality. I want to be like, no, I got a year to get there. I got 6 months to get there. So.
Yeah, it sounds like you want to push yourself to go harder in a short amount of time, because you get a lot more done. So I definitely respect that. I respect that. Well, I mean, that's awesome, bro. I mean, I kind of don't even have more questions. I feel like we went through your whole story, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to say thank you for doing the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the opportunities you have. I'm sure it's going to do nothing but create even more opportunities. Continue to create. You know, don't get discouraged about anything, you know what I'm saying? And just continue to inspire with your work, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I looked at your... this Eddie Murphy role is mine, not yours, it just motivated me to keep on writing my script, because I'm writing my script, and I want to put it out there. I want to get nominated for Emmy, and to see a young brother like you, you know, pursuing those goals and actually achieving those goals, it's just like, it just makes it more possible for a person like me to be done. I mean, to get it done, you know. So once again, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you for coming, man. I look forward to working with you, acting or music. You know, we'll figure it out. But thank you for tuning in for another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Johnny Vegas, Melvin Jackson Jr., and we out of here. Stay tuned for more episodes to come. And where can the people follow you?
MelvinJacksonJr.com, Melvin Jackson Jr. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Melvin Jackson Jr. the brand.
Bam!